Hi everyone. Things didn't work out like how I wanted, so I guess I get to talk to you guys. So I thought I'd tell you the story that I wanted to tell you last week. Speaking of that, in case you want to know, my eye doctor visit went fine. Everything was worse like I thought. Nearsighted, farsighted, and progressive all needed new an update. So I get new glasses, and they did find a freckle, like on the inside of my eye, in the back by the optic nerve. Something to keep an eye on, I guess. I'm not too concerned at this point. As it turned out, they got me in. My appointment was at 3. I was in the exam room at 3, after 3:30, and by the time the exam was over, I picked out my new frames. By the time I got home, my parents had just gotten home, so there was absolutely no time to make any video. So I made the right call in making the one from my car. So last week I told you I had a bird story, and so I still want to tell you. But right now we have RC, and Milo is on the bottom of his cage. You can barely see him right there. There, he moved. KeeKee is, of course, wandering around behind me. He'll probably be back and forth, as he usually does. So the story involves both KeeKee and RC. So this was last week, Sunday. So I was sitting on the couch and doing tablet stuff, I guess. I heard a sound, and so I looked up, and I saw RC inside KeeKee's cage, about right there, chewing on that toy right there with the plastic straws, with the green and blue ropes hanging down. That one. So you have no idea how hard this is. So he's sitting there inside, up in the corner, chewing on the straws. KeeKee was sitting about where he is right now, looking down into his cage. Not a good situation. This is why I keep this front door open all the time. Just for that reason. So I said to RC, you may want to get out of there. Something like that. So then I'm watching, and KeeKee, who I expected him to jump in there and chase him out, instead turns around and climbs onto that perch right there. Like he didn't care that RC was in his cage. And I'm like, what's going on here? So it's like, well, if KeeKee doesn't care, I shouldn't care either. So I went back to what I was doing. A little bit later, I heard more sounds. So I looked up again, and I found RC was hanging on the door on KeeKee's door on the inside. KeeKee was hanging on the door opposite him on the outside of the door. And they were starting to big fight through the cage. And then at that moment, KeeKee starts to flap his wings. And the force of that made the whole cage door, with both of them on it, all the way over to there. And they're both going, they both have their look on their face like, what just happened? So RC's just kind of hanging there. So is KeeKee. KeeKee gets off to this rope perch here where RC is sitting. And he starts going that way, which is not what we want because this is their area, especially Milo. So KeeKee keeps going. So I'm watching. So KeeKee walks, gets to Milo's cage, and climbs up to the top. Milo was in his cage, sitting. There he is. So Milo was sitting on the other end of the perch that he's sitting on now. So he's sitting over there. KeeKee is now on top of the cage, looking down. He is scared to death. He was like real skinny. His crest was all the way up, and I was scared for him because if KeeKee had decided to go in there and get after Milo, I would not have been able to get there fast enough to stop anything. So I'm kind of watching, and I'm like, I'm basically yelling. I'm like, KeeKee, get away from that. Get away from there. And he kind of looked, and then all of a sudden he just decided he'd climb back down, back over here, climbed here, back up his cage, and back to where he is now. And I was like, whew. So there. So that was my story. Because of everything that was going on, I didn't think to grab my tablet and turn it on. But so I'm trying to capture these moments. But that was kind of, it was funny at first. It got dicey. So anyway, so other than that, not much else going on around here. I got my video planned out for Sunday. It's going to be a little different. And I'm working on December. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. So, anything you guys want to say, talk about, you know where the comments are. Yeah, so, Milo, RC, KeeKee, finches, parakeets, dogs on the couch. So, I now have 2 hours to work on my video. So, awesome. So, almost 9 minutes. I've talked enough. So, talk to y'all later in the comments and around. Bye.